what are some, your top three? I mean, I'm sure you've done 20 or more up to this point, but what are some of the top three critical changes you've made in your own lifestyle that have really contributed to your healing journey?
Um, yes, top 3. Okay, so number 1, I'll close the loop on what I mentioned earlier, creating this life for myself where I was always the giver, which feels really good. The truth is that all of us need to create a life where there's ebb and flow in our life. And the probably one of the most significant things that I've done, and it was very hard and it took years, by the way. I'll probably give it 5 years. It took 5 years of really deep work, is learn how to create a life where I'm getting the support I need and I feel worthy of that support. And that is so crucial because the number one reason why our bodies break down is because of stress. And that could be internal stress or external stress. Either way, we have internal stressors like parasites, viruses, IBS, leaky gut, heavy metals, mold, whatever it is, right? We have all these internal stressors, and that creates a surge of cortisol in our bodies. It's unbelievably stressful, creates inflammation and all the things. And then externally, the stress does the same thing. So external stress could be working out too much. External stress could be working out when your body isn't in a resilient enough state for you to recover from it. It could be stressful relationships, a stressful job, financial stress. I mean, whatever, just think of everything externally that, you're experiencing all of those things. And it could be, you get into a car accident, that could be a crazy external stressor that creates a lot of internal stress for the body. So we could have acute, external stressors like that. But that's the only reason that our body breaks down. If we did not experience stressors, our bodies would be unbelievably resilient. We would live forever. So it's really the stress that we have to start getting present to. And when you are living a life where you are not getting the support you need, then you add insult to injury. First of all, you're empty all the time. I mean, that in itself is really stressful, but then you do hit a crisis point. And that's really what happened for me. I hit a point in my life where I started going through really hard things and I didn't have any support. I was alone. My family lived far away. I had friends. It's not about friends. It's about the way that I architected my relationships with other people. And I had to do some deep inner work over that. It was really important. And I would say that's been so unbelievably crucial to my own healing. So I would say that's number one. And especially for women, we are terrible about creating lives where we get the support we need. We think of ourselves as the supporter, and we're always supporting and doing for everyone else. Second thing that made a huge difference is wearing amber glasses at dusk. And I happened upon that biohack really early in my journey. I was really lucky to come across amazing leaders in our space like Dave Asprey and Ben Greenfield, and they've since become friends and colleagues, and, had no idea 10 years ago that my path was going to unwind like it has. But I started learning about circadian biology and how sensitive our biology is to light cycles, timing, cellular timing, organ timing, all timing in the body is regulated by light. And when we are exposing ourselves to light after dark, when our biology is designed to not experience light anymore, we create all sorts of dissonance in the body. So I started wearing amber glasses. I killed the overhead light, put amber bulbs in certain lamps in my house, and really started working on my sleep. And incidentally, I went my whole life from 18, my adult life, and even some in high school too, 18 to 35, I never went to sleep before 2 a.m. ever. Weekends, weekdays, it didn't matter. I would get a second wind at 9. I was a chronic night owl, and I would say, I'm just a night owl. And I had no idea what I was doing to my body. And that was a biggie. That was one of the big reasons that I deteriorated to the point where I needed surgery in the first place, is because I am wired to get to sleep way before 2. And in those first 3 to 4 hours of deep sleep is when we make all of our hormones. And it's when our body does deep cellular repair. And when we are not asleep during that time, and we think we want to make it up later, what we don't realize is that because of how biology and everything works, you're actually not going into deep sleep later. And so I would wake up all the time feeling utterly exhausted, just like I'd been hit by a Mack truck. And that was a really big reason why, is I wasn't sleeping properly. So sleep became my obsession for about 6 months. So this would probably be, I probably came on this a couple months after my journey started. So that first year, getting my sleep dialed in. I mean, I would go to bed at like 9 p.m. and I would sleep until 8 or 9 a.m. and still feel utterly exhausted in the morning when I woke up. And so sleep was a hard one for me, and it was a huge needle mover. When I started waking up feeling like refreshed, like that was a thing, I just remember being like shocked. I thought, I didn't know that was even a possibility. And that's how we should all feel. And I think a lot of people don't realize, you know, how is our body supposed to function as it relates to sleep, and what is the role that sleep really plays. And, you know, I did a sleep summit with Health Talks earlier this year. And the reason I did that is because sleep was such an unbelievably important part of my own healing. So I would say that would be number 2. So I started really dialing in my sleep. And then the third thing I did that's been a huge needle mover is I've gotten bioidentical hormone support. Now, if I hadn't had the mercury filling improperly drilled for my teeth, I don't know that I would need to be on bioidentical hormone therapy. Maybe because I'm down an ovary, you know, so maybe I would have started needing hormone support, but I was crashed. And what I've learned, I mean, I've been a biohacker. My labs go back to 2012. My spreadsheet is massive on tracking my labs. So I really know like how my body functions in a variety of situations. And if it weren't for bioidentical hormones, I wouldn't sleep at all. Women need estrogen and progesterone to sleep. So I wouldn't sleep. And if you're not sleeping, you're not healing. You can just like, everything else is a wash. So hormones allowed me to function at a time when my body was extremely deficit, and the protocols, it's like you're in this catch-22. You need to do certain protocols to speed up your healing. But if you're not sleeping, it's like this protocol is supposed to take me 10 miles down the road, but because I'm not sleeping, it actually takes me a half a mile. I spend all that time, all that money, and I'm not getting results. And it's frustrating, and it's affecting other parts of my life. And, you know, you can feel just like you're beating your head against a wall, and it comes back to you needing to sleep. So for me, hormones have been a major saving grace because hormones are very anti-aging. They give you energy. For women, they help us preserve our bone density. They help us to sleep at night. They support the body in detoxifying. They support a process called methylation, which is a process that our body goes through to detoxify. So there's just so many things that our bodies need hormones for. And there can be this attitude sometimes like, I'm just going to wait until I'm going to do all the healing protocols that are get my hormones back line. I'm not going to support them. Except you're in this catch-22 where because you don't have the hormones, your body can't sleep and do the things you need to do to heal. So I would say that's the third thing. I would say those are probably the top 3: getting more support, dialing in my sleep, wearing those amber glasses and getting discipline around my sleep, and getting hormone support when I needed it.